The Spanish Announce Table.
You have found pro wrestling's best podcast. It is the Spanish Announce Table with Tim and Tom. If you're watching us live on YouTube, you can see who is who. If you're listening back on the podcast for the first time ever and you don't know who's who, you're going to have to figure it out in the context clues because I'm not going to give it away for you. You should have been here live, should have been watching with us. I mean, you are welcome, of course. If you don't have the time, I get it. You're a busy person. But anyway, it's a pro wrestling podcast. We love to talk about pro wrestling with our pro wrestling friends, which is where you come in. You watch the show live. You chat with us. You talk about what you want to talk about. We'll talk about that, right? You talk about that on Twitter. You go on Twitter at Table Show. You follow us. You use hashtag Tweet the Table. We'll read some of those on the show. We got some of those. More on that, right? Teaser, Tom.
Come on.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some AEW Dynamite. You can be chatting with us live, or you can just listen back to the podcast later and give us a thumbs up sometime. Maybe give us an email, tableshow@gmail.com, or you go to SpanishAnnounceTable.net and you subscribe for free to our newsletter and get all of our daily content delivered right there to your email every day. And you can just be like, oh, look at all this great stuff these guys do and all this fun wrestling content that I can look at.
And on top of that, if you're not a person who checks your email and you do go to the Substack or our website, it's all right there as well. So either way you get it in your inbox or in front of your face when you go to the website. We're doing a lot of cool things. I will say again, the absolute best value, and it's free, but it's even should be paid for. You guys should be paying for it. But the best value is the 2 to 3 minute morning videos from the co-host, Tim Rainer. It is absolutely awesome. The voice is just the perfect way. Drinking coffee and listening to Tim's voice. I don't know if there's a better way to start. And then you're getting real news. You're not getting like, hey, so CM Punk's Instagram says that he's going to be doing some mean things in August. It's real shit.
And obviously we're going to talk about that. But a key point in the news, I left the CM Punk stuff out. Why? Because all of it at this point is all he said, she said bullshit that has not been confirmed by anybody. All I've heard is Warner Brothers say he's not involved in this. And that's the only thing official I've heard, right? Like, that's it. That's the only thing I know. So I didn't include that because that's a story that's developing, right? That wouldn't be good journalism to just come out the gate and tell you, here's what's happening, because I don't know what the fuck's happening with that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But you pick out great stories, Tim, and I'm going to take over right now. And you also are a great co-host. And Tim, we're doing this show on a Thursday. I tried to get it on a Wednesday because it was your birthday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
So I got you something for your birthday. Yeah. You let what is it? Your 20th anniversary of your 21st birthday? Yeah.
Very close.
So
very
I got
close.
you cake. Look, I got you a lemon and blueberry
that's great.
cheesecake.
Hand that over.
Yeah.
I'll eat that right here.
Yeah. Well, since you can't, I figured I will.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't that nice?
yeah.
Thanks.
So look,
Tell me how great it would have tasted if I would have been able to eat it.
Well, look at this. Here, look. We'll do this. We'll do a little happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the co-host. Happy birthday to you. Hey, Tim, make a wish. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. That was it. That's what I wished for. Good stuff. Good thinking, Tom.
Yeah. Look at that. Let's see how it tastes. I made this just for you.
I bet you made it.
Yep.
What
just for you.
What was the brand name on the box?
And
I bet it's delicious.
Good AMR going on right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm really excited for you, for me.
You love this,
right? Yeah,
this is so good.
I'm a big cookies and cream fan, Oreo guy.
Well, this is lemon and blueberry.
Oh, you said lemon and blueberry. Okay. All right. Oh, my God, that sounds delicious. Hold on.
Very good.
Hold on. Tom.
We made this just for you.
Yeah. So
you would love this bite.
Is there more? Like, if I come over later, I could grab a piece.
Yeah, we didn't make
that.
one slice. Yeah, we didn't make one slice, God damn it. Yeah.
No, I thought that was the last slice. You're like, no, we made this cake for you. This was the last slice. Happy birthday. Let me tell you how great it tastes. You said lemon
Yeah,
blueberry. See, it's playing with the green screen a little bit, so that's why I thought it was an Oreo base because it looked black, right? But I get it now. I see it now that those are blueberries. That's not a black Oreo. That's a blueberry with like a yellow lemon frosting there.
Oh, you love this. This is so good.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for you to enjoy the rest of that cake in honor of me for my birthday. That's so nice.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Isn't this great?
This is one of the best things you've ever done for me on the Spanish Announce Table.
We all win. This is so much fun. I love it. Happy birthday.
Seeing you smile is a gift in itself, Tom. I love it. I love it. That's fun, and it's great because I had a birthday, which is an anniversary of something that happened a long time ago, right? And each year I celebrate that same day, and I go, hey, remember when this thing happened when I was born? Isn't that great? And that's fun. And we like to do that right here on the Spanish Announce Table as a new thing we're doing each week where we kind of, we got to know where we've been to know where we're going, right, with pro wrestling. And we like to talk about something that happened on this day for the week coming up in pro wrestling history, right? But we've got to make it fun, and we got to have Tom, who's enjoying that cake. Like, it's just has chipmunk cheeks full of this great cake for me.
This was made for you, Tim.
This is the best
so
thing.
good.
Yeah, it's
for
so good.
You.
I love how you were like, we got to hurry this up. This thing is melting. And meanwhile, the whole time you're like, man, I got to eat this thing. This looks great. Hurry, shut up over there and let's get this show started.
Yeah. Wrestling, okay. Kenny Omega, CM Punk.
Fans,
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I get it.
All right, but we're going to talk about some stuff that happened historically in pro wrestling. To make it fun, we're going to make Tom guess a few things here, make it a little bit of a trivia game, right? You right over there?
I'm looking at the live chat. Someone left because I'm eating.
Probably like, what a shitty show. This guy couldn't even finish his dinner.
Fucking the guy's eating on this show. I thought it was wrestling.
Yeah. What is this, a baking championship here?
Yeah.
Spanish Announce Kitchen
podcast.
Table?
All right. I'll do the Spring Baking Championship podcast.
I know, you'd be all over it.
Justice for Jai. She should have won. But yes, Jai should have won. She was so good. God dang. Anyhow, yes. Pro wrestling. That's the thing we talk about.
Is it? Pro wrestling? No, it is. Love it. And by the way, hit us up, SpanishAnnounceTable.net. Like we said, subscribe over there or buy our shirt. Pro Wrestling Tees. There's a link right there on the SpanishAnnounceTable.net, and you can donate if you're feeling so philanthropic to donate to the cause over here for the Spanish Announce Table. But let's talk about some stuff that happened in the past in a little segment that we like to call Tom. Are you ready? You hop in the Spanish Announce time machine here, right? We're going back to talk about some pro wrestling, and we're going to talk about what happened on this day, May 22nd. 2000.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yep. Just a young pup, T-Mac.
Mm-hmm.
WCW Monday Nitro. I know you love WCW 2000, so I like to stop off in 2000 whenever possible for a WCW.
I mean, don't we all? That's our real wheelhouse.
Right. WCW Monday Nitro took place May 22nd, 2000 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Daphne defeated Crowbar to win the WCW Cruiserweight Championship.
That makes sense.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Vince Russo stripped Ric Flair of the World Heavyweight Championship. Stripped him, took it away from him. And then Kevin Nash would later be defeated in a match for that vacant World Heavyweight title by which wrestler on this day? May 22nd, 2000.
I mean, isn't the easy answer Jeff Jarrett?
It's Jeff Jarrett. I know you love WCW 2000, and I know you love cake, and I know you love Jeff Jarrett.
Well, one of those things is true, and it's not Jeff Jarrett.
And still, you can do the math, the rest of it over there. But yes, stripped the title off Ric Flair because that guy doesn't need the World Heavyweight title. But we'll give it to Jeff Jarrett.
Awesome.
Jarrett.
Awesome. And then he did so good last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's such a wonderful talent. All right, well, we'll move on and see what happened. May 23rd, 1993.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right.
30 years back here, Tom. WCW Slamboree, a Legends reunion, was held at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Very on brand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All of this checks
Sid
out.
Vicious made his WCW return after a run as Sid Justice in WWF, defeating Van Hammer in 35 seconds. The main event saw Davey Boy Smith defeat Big Van Vader by disqualification in a World Heavyweight Championship match. And this event also saw the reformation of the Four Horsemen, featuring the combo of Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, and which wrestler?
Sting.
It was not Sting.
Oh, okay. It wasn't?
It was not.
Oh,
Who
okay.
joined the Four Horsemen?
Barry Windham.
Oh, Barry Windham
Barry
is
Windham.
not the right answer. This one
Ah.
is an oft forgot about Horseman
Is
member.
it that fucking guy? Is it the fucking
It's
Roma?
Paul Roma.
Yeah, fucking Paul Roma. Fucking
Yeah,
Paul
He
Roma.
was a horseman for about until December, and this happened in May. It was a very short-lived thing. So yeah, original members. I think we all know Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard. Tom, there's a bunch of other members. Who can you name here? You said
Sid.
some of them, right?
Sid,
Sid is one.
Sting,
Sting, yep.
Paul Roma. We named that.
Paul Roma, yep.
Barry Windham.
Barry Windham, you said, yep.
Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko, that's one. I didn't know if you'd get that, yeah.
Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
Steve Mongo McMichael.
Mongo, yes.
Now, are we counting Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig? 'Cause
No.
he kind of was.
Oh, yeah, Kurt Hennig. Yeah, Kurt Hennig was
Okay.
an actual, at least according to Wikipedia. These are actual
Yeah.
members, not affiliate, associate members,
Yeah.
not honorary
Mhm.
members. Right, yeah. Kurt Hennig, yep.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett, that's right.
Um,
We love the Jeff Jarrett.
I mean, fucking apparently WCW
Yeah.
did.
I think
okay,
you
who
have
else?
only two that you haven't named.
Trying to think. Brian Pillman.
Brian Pillman, one remaining.
I can't. Who is it?
Lex
Oh, Lex Luger! Motherfucker, I knew that.
Yeah,
God
good job,
dang it.
man. You got all them pretty much, other than the Lex Luger, and you didn't
Nah,
like say
and I
any that
knew
were
it.
wrong.
Yeah, and I knew that.
Nice.
I knew. Fuck.
Nice. All right, we will move on and see. Man, that cake, it looks mouth-wateringly good.
It's so good. You
God.
loved it. Look.
Yeah, I'm
loved it.
sure I would have asked for a second piece probably.
You want me to get it?
I mean, yeah, yeah. I'll just do the show over here while you go get another slice, so that we really sink this bit in. Yeah. All right. No, instead, let's talk about what happened on this day, May 24th, 1973.
Okay.
All right.
You were what, 12?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. The second longest NWA World Heavyweight Championship run in history came to an end in Kansas City, Missouri, when Harley Race defeated which wrestler? Mm-hmm. On this day, Harley Race defeated this wrestler to end this wrestler's 1,563-day reign as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion right here in Kansas City, home of the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, let me think.
Long reigning NWA champion. Wrestled in Kansas City a lot because of that, obviously.
God dang, it's not right, but I want to say Dory Funk Jr.
It is Dory Funk.
It is?
It is Dory.
Look at that! I was literally.
That's what I was trying to say. I was like, hey, man, like you've heard the Kansas City history around here. I was like, trying to
Well,
Cue you in,
because I
yeah.
get confused with the Funks and their NWA runs because one of them, obviously, Dory Funk had the long run, but Terry Funk had like a 10-day run. And I always forget who had what.
Yeah.
So that's where I get confused.
Well, we had the
But yeah,
famous Dusty Ric Flair match here, too, didn't we?
Ric Flair won his
yeah.
first championship at Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas, defeating Dusty Rhodes. Yes.
Yeah, nice. All right. Then we will talk about what happened on this day. May 25th, 2012. Chris Jericho was indefinitely suspended by WWE following an incident prior to a match with CM Punk in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Ooh.
What did Chris Jericho do?
Isn't that interesting that Chris Jericho and CM Punk had an incident, and now you flash forward to 2023, and apparently they still don't like each other. Crazy how that works.
Yeah.
What happened, you said?
Yes. That he was indefinitely suspended by the WWE on this day, May 25th, 2012. Incident prior to a match in Sao Paulo, Brazil with CM Punk.
I feel like it's something alcohol related. Was it something like he threw a beer or something? I don't know.
Nope.
What was
he
it?
desecrated the Brazilian flag when he threw it on the ground, stomped on it, and kicked it out of the ring. Jericho was forced to make a public apology right then when the match was stopped by local security and they demanded he apologize. No charges were filed, though this is an arrestable offense in Brazil. Jericho returned to television 1 month later on June 25th.
Isn't that great? Yeah. Isn't that great? We get so bent out of shape that cloth hit the ground.
Yeah.
But we'll make it into a G-string and sell that shit at your local
Especially
Walmart.
in Brazil, yeah. It's all
well,
over.
every fucking
exactly.
one. You know what I mean? Like every fucking
well, no, your analogy works really well when we're talking about Brazil.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That's absolutely. Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah.
You know,
but don't throw it on the ground. Now I get stomping on it. Like I could get how people were pissed, but like a arrestable offense. Fuck
yeah,
off.
like why? Yeah, that should be criminal. Is
so silly.
It's fascist. You know how that is.
Yeah, but my dirt's better than your dirt.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right. Well, then we'll talk about what happened on this day, May 26th. 1987, 2 WWF wrestlers were arrested while driving in New Jersey for suspected possession of drugs and drunk driving. This was problematic for WWE because these two wrestlers were currently in a high-profile feud against each other on television, and the narrative of these two wrestlers hating each other was shattered when the arrest made headline news. Both wrestlers fired as a result. However, both would have returned to the company in 1 year. Which two wrestlers, Tom, were arrested here?
Speaking about American pride, I don't think you could get more American pride than Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh!
I met him at a baseball stadium at a Metro Pro show. Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
It was for my wife's birthday.
Yeah, they did a show at the ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah. Took my wife for her birthday because she really wanted to go. She didn't. It
was like, this is what
and then obviously, yeah. And then obviously it was the Iron Sheik. Sheiky baby.
You're close.
Oh, wait a minute. It wasn't?
It was one of their other foreign cliche racist gimmicks. It was Nikolai Volkov.
Oh, I thought it was. Man, I always thought it was Iron Sheik and Hacksaw
That's what
Jim
this
Duggan.
website I was using. Let's.
No, you're probably right. I got a smooth drunk brain, so it's fine. No, you're right.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna fact check. We don't normally do that.
Well, while you do that, another high-profile arrest ended a world championship run. I don't know when it happened, but that always makes me think about when Rob Van Dam became your WWE champion, and then quickly, I think it was like 3 weeks later, got arrested for having marijuana. It was him and old Sabu making the towns with marijuana.
Yep. I think it might have been the Sheik. Maybe this was bad info. It was the Sheik, probably.
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
No. Anyhow.
They were arrested. You get what happened. Maybe we got bad intel.
No, you probably don't. My brain's dumb.
Yeah, I don't know.
Got the dumb brain.
We'll figure it out later, and maybe we'll bring it back up. But that was what happened on this day. Pro wrestling. Bobby Heenan School of Journalism over here.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, that was a good piece of cake. I'm sweating over here. I'm sweating like a sneeze stuck in a thick bitch. You know what I mean?
Doctor about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I said?
No, I didn't catch you. You were thicker than something, would you?
No, I said I'm sweating like a sneeze stuck in a thick bitch. I heard that the other day. I thought it was funny.
Interesting line there. Yeah, it was an interesting one. Yeah. Hey, Tom, we've got a website. And we were talking about it earlier, SpanishAnnounceTable.net. And we said, you should go subscribe. And when we say subscribe, you get the newsletter, but it's also part of the Substack platform, right? And Substack is an online platform where folks can kind of write, create these websites like we've created. You can interact, you can comment. And we got a comment, Tom, on one of our posts that we do every day, which is a match of the day. Tom picks out a match of the day that he finds interesting that you should watch, right? And talk about it. And somebody who's a recent subscriber, thank you, said had something to say about it, because this was the Kurt Angle and Kennedy, right? Mr. Anderson, excuse me.
Mr. Anderson
from I'm forgetting the TNA pay-per-view.
Steel cage. It was a steel cage match. Who cares? It was a steel cage match. They had a lockdown.
I think it was lockdown. Okay, so yes, it was that match, and we had a comment, and I want to talk about it. You ready?
All right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about it.
All right. Adam Ryan on here said, I just recently finished watching all of the TNA pay-per-views from 2010. Angle versus Anderson from Lockdown was probably in my top 10 favorite matches of that year. Those two were unbelievably great together in all of the matches they had that year, but the cage match was by far the best. Yeah?
Well, look, yes. But 2010, I've said this to anyone who will listen, and I'll continue to say it. Kurt Angle is the greatest professional wrestler, and the only reason we don't say that as a consensus is because he did so much of his work in TNA and not in WWE. But 2010, it kicked off with Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight Championship, which fucking ruled. And then you go into, the Mr. Anderson, Kurt Angle matches, which no slight at all to Mr. Anderson, but tell me another great Mr. Anderson match. You can't. That's how good Kurt Angle was in 2010. He was just humming with everyone and just putting on banger after banger after banger. 2010's a weird year. So if memory serves me correct, I do remember, because 2010, you told me about this, and then I started racking my brain. So 2010 is the year most known for TNA goes from like taped to live on Monday.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan takes over. Him and Eric Bischoff come into town, right? And so then WWE says, well, fuck off. If you want to have a Monday Night War, check this shit out. We're bringing back Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and they're going to fucking hug. And that broke the internet, which, wasn't necessarily.
Did that happen then around there somewhere, somehow? Yeah, I don't remember exactly when, because I was just getting out of the military in May 2010. And so I had missed several years of like TNA for sure, and only been kind of able to keep up with big events from WWE for a good couple years. So some of my time frame is fuzzy in there too,
Yeah, but this is when TNA just tried to throw everything at the wall. So this was when you had like Mick Foley and obviously Sting, and then Hogan tried to wrestle. And then you had like the mainstays that were like killing it, which were Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, even though he's starting to kind of tail off and get a little fucked up, he was still killing it at this moment.
Yeah.
Great time.
I'm glad that you're thinking about your vast knowledge of TNA from 2010, because this comment, which by the way, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I brought up for me a new fun segment that I want to try that we'll do occasionally, often, right? We're going to call it, What Does Tom Know? Right?
Nothing.
What does Tom know? And Tom, what does Tom know about TNA 2010? This is quick. This is some easy things here, I think. And, hopefully you'll be able to get some of this. 12 pay-per-view events for TNA in 2010, Tom, right? One each month. Pretty simple, right?
Genesis was the first one.
There you go. Yeah. Well, there's a question I was going to ask you. How many of these TNA pay-per-views can you name? So let's start with that one. You got Genesis. Right?
Genesis, Genesis, Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory was their October. Genesis was January. Yep.
Lockdown.
Lockdown.
No. Lockdown.
Yep. Lockdown was April.
Against All Odds?
Against All Odds is their February pay-per-view. Yep. I think Scott Steiner will give you a name for one of them.
Destination X or something?
Destination X is their March. Yep.
Yes. Slammiversary.
Slammiversary. Yep.
Hmm.
That was their June pay-per-view. Yep. Uh-huh. The numbers spell disaster for you. When did the numbers spell disaster for Samoa Joe?
Oh, yeah. I can't, yeah. Yeah, I can hear it, but I can't.
Yep.
I can't. That's all I got. That's all I got.
All right, then we have Sacrifice in May, which is when the numbers spell disaster for Samoa Joe.
Yes. Sacrifice.
Yep.
Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me try it. Okay, now.
You have July left, August left, September left, November, and December. The final month.
Wasn't there a fucking like a country road or fucking there was a road one, wasn't there?
You're on the right track. You're on the right road. I'll give you that. There is a road-based name.
Yeah, some country bullshit. Victory Road
is the July pay-per-view. We're looking for August, September. August, September, November, and December. The final month. December. TNA's pay-per-view.
I said lockdown, right? I
said lockdown was April. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh. I'm throwing in the towel.
There was Hardcore Justice in August, right?
Wouldn't have got that yet.
No Surrender in September.
Wouldn't have got that one.
Turning Point was in November. I wouldn't have ever got that one. And Final Resolution.
Oh, I should have knew it. Yeah.
Right. I was trying to give you hints on that one. That's the 12. Now, Tom, 11 of
How many
those.
did I get?
Huh?
How many did I get?
You got a good chunk. You got Genesis, Against All Odds, Destination X, Lockdown, Slammiversary, Victory Road. So we were at 6 there. You got Bound for Glory. So 7, I think.
7, yeah.
2010.
Yeah.
TNA pay-per-view names. Good job.
Come on, man. Thanks.
12 of those shows emanated from, or 11 of those 12 shows emanated from Florida. 10 of those being in the Impact Zone in Orlando. 1 at the Crown Center in Daytona Beach, Florida. However, there was one show at the Family Arena. Where?
Sounds like Nashville.
It was Lockdown.
Wait, St. Louis?
Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri.
Yeah. St. Louis. Yeah, because, was that? Okay, hold on. Was that the pay-per-view that they did the electrocution cage match with the Dudleys?
Well, I think it's the one that you were talking about. That's the one that had
let's look that one
Anderson and
I don't
remember if that was the electrocution.
Team, yeah, because it was Team 3D Electrified and versus LAX. Yes.
Nice.
Lockdown 2007. Right. That might be the match of the day this week. I'll tell you what.
Right.
That was so stupid.
33 names were contestants in the 12 main events across the 12 months here, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 of those were in one main event. 4 of them were in 2 main events. 2 of them were in 3 main events. 1 of those names was in 4 main events, and 2 of them were in 5 main events. Who's tied? Who are the 2 wrestlers that were in the most main events at 5 each of the 12 main events in TNA 2010?
Kurt Angle.
Wrong. Kurt Angle was in 4.
Sting.
Or no, he was in 2. Kurt Angle was only in 2. Excuse me.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the 4 names in 2. Sting is also one of the 4 names that were in 2.
No shit, really?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I know. This is an interesting list.
So who had the most?
You can start guessing any of the 33 names, but I'm looking for the 2 names that were in 5 main events each out of the 12 main events in TNA 2010.
It couldn't have been Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan was in none. He was not on this list of 33 names.
Yeah, good.
Your favorite
AJ Styles?
is on this list.
AJ Styles?
AJ Styles was in 3 main events. He was one of 2 folks that were in 3 main events.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett was in one main event.
Nah, god damn it! I feel like I'm getting farther away.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't Sting. It wasn't Kurt Angle. Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner was not on this list.
God damn.
Bud.
I said Jeff Hardy. You said no.
No. You did not say Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy?
Jeff Hardy was one of the names.
Yeah.
We're in 5 main events in TNA.
Because this was the belt. Remember that silly ass belt they made for him specifically for TNA?
He made it. Yeah.
Yeah, he made it.
Yeah, like Glue in the Dark and things. It was like early Naomi stuff.
Mm-hmm. Was this main event Mafia time? So Kevin Nash?
Kevin Nash is not on this list either. Nope. Mm-mm.
Rob Van Dam?
Rob Van Dam was the other name that was in 5 main events in TNA 2010. Who else joined AJ Styles in 3 main events? Oh, we missed 4, but 3, yeah. AJ Styles had 3 main events. Who also was in 3 main events? It is not AJ Styles. It's not Rob Van Dam. It's not Jeff Hardy. It's not Kurt Angle. It's not Sting. Not Jeff Jarrett. But it is a TNA mainstay.
Samoa Joe.
Early TNA guy. Not Samoa Joe's not on this list either.
Really? God dang.
But a TNA original.
Jeff Jarrett?
Nope, you already said Jeff Jarrett. He was in the main event.
TNA original. Robert Roode?
Robert Roode was in 1 main event, but this is not the person who was in 3 main events alongside AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
All right. Who was it? I don't know.
It was Abyss.
Oh!
Abyss.
You forget about him because he just disappeared after.
I know, but he was a TNA mainstay.
Oh,
he
yeah.
Main event picture like his whole time.
Oh, yeah.
There. Absolutely.
Yeah.
4 main events. A name we've already mentioned. We've talked about tonight. 4 main events. Mr. Anderson. 4
wow.
main events. Also joining Sting and Kurt Angle with 2 main events is Matt Morgan.
Oh, God.
And D'Angelo De Niro, another favorite guy of yours. I don't know if you caught me calling you Bud earlier.
Yeah, I didn't. Here you go. For anyone who's new listening, I fucking do not like that guy. So I won Fan of the Night at a TNA house show, which, I went to a TNA house show. That's
and one Fan of the Night at it.
And I won Fan. Well, I always win Fan of the Night. I'm a fucking psychopath.
Look at me,
so I win.
Fun.
Yeah. So I go backstage. I get to meet the wrestlers, and I'm meeting Kazarian. I met Abyss. I met who are the Velvet Sky? I met
the Beautiful People.
Yeah, Angelina Love. I met her as well. Who else did I meet? I met a couple other people, but then I left fucking pissed because I asked D'Angelo fucking numbnuts over here, whatever the fuck it is, and I said, hey, can I get a picture? He says, what'd you say? I said, hey, bud, I'm sorry. Can I get a picture? He goes, yes, but my name's not Bud. And then he no sells it. And then there's mean mugs in the picture. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You
I don't want this picture now.
Yeah,
now I got to delete this in front of you just to,
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, the only reason I did is just to show that I met you. I didn't really fucking care to meet you.
I just thought of a fun TikTok series we could do where we meet the wrestlers, right? We get the picture and then immediately have them see us deleting the photo and be like, that was shitty. That sucked.
Well, my favorite thing to do, if you ever meet a celebrity and in advance, you're like, this guy's acting like a dickhead, or this woman. Women can act like that too.
So
right?
when you meet us.
Yeah. This is what I did to John Jones, UFC heavyweight champion, one of the greatest fighters of all time. Complete jerk. And maybe he was having a bad day. I don't know. But he was being a jerk on this day. I'm in line to meet him with my friend. I'm with my friend, and we're starting to get up there, and it's Ozone for Tim. Yeah. You know who that is. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of Ozone's kind of just in his own world. Well, he's just kind of in his own world because we were calling the fights, and so it was intermission. So he's kind of in his own world,
right,
doing his own thing.
He's present, but he's just in the Ozone.
Yeah,
presence.
He was a special character.
Right. Yeah.
So as we get closer, I just see John Jones putting his arm around people, not even making eye contact, looking around during the photo. And so I was like, Ozone, follow my lead. He's like, what? I was like, just follow my lead. He's like, all right, cool, whatever. And we get up to John Jones, and then I hand him my phone. And I said, hey, could you take a picture of us? And he looks at us and he's like, what? I was like, yeah, could you take a picture of me and my friend? No. And just like pushes it back in my chest. And I was like, yeah, good, fuck you.
That's like, hey guy, listen, would you mind?
Well, it got him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like doing one of these things. Oh, it's a good FU. Really humble someone.
That is a good one. Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, that's definitely a good one. And then I guess rounding out the 3 individuals left who were each in one main event in TNA 2010 is Desmond Wolfe.
So good.
Yep. James Storm.
Oh, okay.
And Sabu, because we had the Rob Van Dam, so they brought in Sabu.
I tell you what.
That's what Tom knows.
Yeah, and I tell you what. Desmond Wolfe, he had a great series of matches with Kurt Angle. I bet you that was the main event, was him and Kurt Angle. But Desmond Wolfe, obviously Nigel McGuinness for Ring of Honor fans, really, really good stuff in TNA, especially in 2010.
Yeah, and career cut short from health issues, right? Correct. But yeah, that's. But yes, the commentary, kind of a similar thing with Corey Graves, right, where medical issues led to an in-ring stoppage. But we've discovered like pretty good at this commentary thing, right?
Definitely
do that. Yeah, absolutely. So then, yeah, that's all we had for What Does Tom Know? And on this day, some of the fun stuff. We urge you, get in contact with us, right? Comment on our stuff. You might spurn a fun conversation about who the hell knows what, right?
Yeah.
We've got Tweet the Tables coming up as we talk about AEW Dynamite, which was a really fun episode, if I do say so myself. We're going to talk about it as we break down. Tom doesn't seem to like this one.
Oh no, I do.
Oh, yeah,
Get me on a single shot real quick.
All right.
Because before we really get into our breakdown, inject Hangman Adam Page in an eye patch right into my veins. This was oh my God. What up? Oh, I just wanted to fucking run through a wall for Hangman. Like, what up, motherfuckers? Huh? Let's go get our fucking horses and ride and fucking be vigilantes.
Yeah, I don't even know where we're going, but we're going there together.
Oh, yeah. God, wasn't it fucking cool?
It was cool.
Oh, we're going to get to it. But this shot right here, inject that into my fucking veins. Tie it up right there. It was
know how to do that pretty well. Like
I'm from Independence. You know what I mean? I've seen it a time or two. Right there. No, let's talk about Dynamite.
Hear that cake plate. You're really still looking for crumbs over there, aren't you? You're just
all right. So speaking of crumbs, Wardlow comes out looking for a reaction, and no one gives a shit. But he comes out dressed like a bouncer at your local nightclub, and he says, "Hey, Christian, you made a lot of promises, so I want you to make good on them."
And spit in my face, which if I would have had time, I was going to steal that as a sound clip that we were going to use forever. I don't know what that was about, but like, I mean, I get it in the context of what we've been doing already, but like, it's a weird thing to just have out there now of you just being like, spit in my face. It's just weird.
Oh yeah. Especially in 2023, that's for sure. So long story short, they beat up Wardlow and they throw him through a ladder. Then they do the kill switch on the ladder.
Yeah. Well, we have a tweet the table about this scenario. And I mean, it kind of, I mean, it's around the whole subject. Because yes, like you said, they put him through the table. They talk shit. They do the smell my dick, right?
Ladder.
Right. Excuse me. Right. It's the ladder because they're going to do the ladder match. But then it's all, it's setting that up. He said that later, right? After they walked away, right? Or something like that. And he's coming to or something. Did somebody come to save him? I forget what happened.
Arn Anderson. I'll tell you about it. Yeah. Backstage.
So that's, like, oh, yeah, that comes later, right? The announcement of the ladder match. Yeah, so they throw him through the ladder, and that's cool. But, like, I want to talk about what Brian J. Bebe has to say here. And he says, maybe it's just me, but I don't think Luchasaurus needs the one Road Warrior shoulder pad. He's big and tough enough without it. Hashtag tweet the table. Yes and no. Yes, in that he's an imposing looking figure, right? When you look at him, he's a fucking athletic guy, and he's tall and he's big, and he should intimidate anybody. I think they put him in a mask because I don't know if you've seen like I don't know that it comes across as menacing. Does it like just his normal resting face, right? So I think the mask was more for that reason. And if he's going to be Luchasaurus, well, then we need a Lucha dinosaur, and a mask is somewhat, but like, that helps, right? Now he's got the spikes, right? But he doesn't necessarily need it, but like without it, Luchasaurus doesn't make a whole lot of sense either, right? If it's just a mask that may or may not be allowed to be used in the future if you follow the pro wrestling news. So yes and no, but what are your thoughts on this? Like, it's borderline, right? For me, it's like, man, you can't do much more, right?
Yeah, you can't go other shoulder. I think obviously if you're going to say lucha, you need a mask. Anything lucha, right? Luchasaurus, Lucha Tiger, got to have a mask.
Lucha means mask here in America, fellas.
Basically. Yeah, basically. So the mask is needed. Now, I think shoulder pad adds some distinction because if you're just having a mask, well then, you could be Chris Kanyon or any of these other wrestlers that have kind of just gone by the wayside in the mid-card. Mr. America. Yeah, any of these people.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. Heard he's racist. But I don't know.
Did you hear that? That's weird. Mr. America?
Yeah.
America racist? That's weird.
Crazy.
No, don't believe it.
So I think adding the shoulder pad says like this person looks different if we put all of the masked big men in a line, right? The other thing that I think helps him having a mask and the shoulder pad, and again, not necessarily the shoulder pad, is his tattoos add some distinction of he's not just a big dude like Wardlow. Wardlow is a paint by numbers pro wrestling action figure. With Luchasaurus, he's got those tattoos where it's like, well, what does that mean? Well, it means I'm kind of into dinosaurs. Look at the mask now, right? I don't think he should wrestle in the fucking shoulder pad, but walking out in it,
I don't think he will, but I've got the solution of what's going on here. Right? So again, if you're in the business of hiring podcasters, Tony Khan, which may or may not have been said in the news.
He hired one of them.
Yeah. Luchasaurus. So my question was more like, okay, all right, if I'm breaking this down, we said like we thought this was going to be Luchasaurus takes on Wardlow with Christian managing Luchasaurus. We've been at least swerved for the moment, if not, long term here, for this is about Christian. Christian's going to win or take on Wardlow, excuse me, for the TNT title, right? With Luchacanosaurus, big red monster that could, Luchasaurus helping him out. Well, I thought to myself, okay, well, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think Christian's better at this right now than Luchasaurus is, right? We got to get Luchasaurus where we're going, which is more what I think is happening here, right? This is going to be to build up Luchasaurus somehow, is what my spidey senses are saying, right? And this is, we're going to get Christian berating the Luchasaurus because he's not helping him correctly, right? And he's like, look at you think you're a dinosaur? This is stupid. I keep telling you, this stupid shoulder thing. Now you got a tail, right? Like he keeps adding stuff. And he's like, you're an idiot. You're not a dinosaur. You're a man. You're a 6'17", 400-pound man. You're a man. Austin, right? Whatever his name is, whatever, right? Then we get that run, and then we get Jungle Boy helping him remember who he is. I'm a dinosaur, right? The crowd's chanting. He's like, no, I'm a man. And they're like, dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Oh, and you can make shirts that just say, I'm a dinosaur.
I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah, I identify as a dinosaur. Or
yes.
Go into all of that stuff, right? Yes.
That better be where we're going, because otherwise, Christian doing heel stuff is always fun, but this isn't leading to anything, right?
No, but I do think it helps with, so I think we'll get to our picks in 2 weeks, but spoiler, I think Christian wins the ladder match. And then I think Luchasaurus is a good buffer that you have to get through him first to then get to Christian, who is the champion, right? So I think that's what they're going to do for the interim. But yes, eventually it's, I'm a dinosaur. And then the shirts could be so fucking cool. It could be like when you go to the doctor or whatever and you're checking all the boxes, and it says like man, woman, and then it could be dinosaur and it have a check mark right there at the bottom. That's what it needs to fucking be. Dinosaur. fucking sell little micro brawler dinosaurs, like not Luchasaurus, like actual, not an actual, but like dinosaurs. That's what you fucking need to do. God dang.
Yeah.
Tony Khan, look, 2 things you need to do: hire us and blink. That's fucking come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just hire us. We'll make sure you blink. We'll make sure you get some water in you because you need a little water, right? A little bit of extra water in you every once in a while, right? Maybe some gum because you know
good to be hydrated.
Like we've been through this. Like I know how to help you here. We'll help you with that. We've got. I feel like we should email this story idea. The I'm a dinosaur storyline because this is gold.
I love it. Yes, it's one of my favorites.
This would be a Hangman self-esteem level storyline.
1,000,000%. Yeah, can't wait. All right, so let's get back into our recap of Dynamite after Christian Cage and Luchasaurus beat up old Wardlow. We get into our first match, and I don't know why this match happened because it's the Firm, Big Bill Morrissey, that's what I'm calling him, and Lee Moriarty taking on Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin?
Yeah.
When did Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin be like, let's fight together?
I guess on the car ride over? I don't know.
I didn't necessarily hate it. And, you know, 2 like-minded individuals kind of on their own path saying, I respect you, so let's fight the bad guys. I understand as like a high-level overview, but I didn't see why they did this. But they did it, and it was fun. And Darby and Orange Cassidy get the victory because Darby Allin needs to look strong going into the pay-per-view. What did you think? Anything that stands out about our first matchup of the night?
No. It was just that, right? I felt like I was a little weirded out about like why it felt to me like we were like, hey, we're stalling the Pillars storyline, which is kind of what we did all night long with the Pillars.
Well, it was
ish. But.
Yeah, I felt like all 4 of them had to be shown in what they are, right? It's the high flyer, it's the death-defying guy, it's the, I guess now a babyface, and then it's the ultimate heel MJF. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I got it, but yeah, didn't really advance too much. So yeah, after Darby and Orange Cassidy get the pinfall victory, we go backstage and the Young Bucks are in the parking lot and they're being interviewed. And they say Kenny Omega's banged up, but he'll be okay. And then the Blackpool Combat Club just snake around them and corner them. And then the Young Bucks say, we're going to hit you before you hit us. Throw the luggage, but 3 against 2, numbers advantage. Young Bucks get beat up. What'd you think about Young Bucks getting beat up right off the jump?
Well, we always like the Young Bucks getting beat up and violence, right? That's what we're here for in the pro wrestling. And this is Tom and I talk about this. We like the storylines that drive our reason to care about who wins the amazing match that we'll watch, right? We like it in that kind of order, right? Mm-hmm. I don't care that we just know these 2 guys do the flips the best, so we build a storyline where they talk about I do the flips better, no, I do the flips better, and then we get a flip. I don't like that.
Nope.
We want this, right? We want the violence that leads to, right? I care about who's fucking coming away on top as being tougher, cooler, whatever we want to say is going on here, like a fight for supremacy, I guess, over who's the top dog, who's really the elite of the elite here, right?
Yeah, who is the DNA of AEW moving forward? Is it the foundation of which this was founded on, the elite, or is it this new way of thinking, old school mentality of Blackpool Combat Club? I think that actually needs to be said a little bit more of like what we're fighting for is the definition of what AE is going forward. I think that would add a little bit more to it.
Look, if FTR didn't do flips, or fists, not flips, they should have been using that line, right? It should have been, like they should be talking about hold your hand wrestling. Like you know what I mean? Like the Young Buck style versus let's throw some elbows and break some teeth out.
Yeah. All right. So then, as we talked about earlier, Wardlow is interviewed in the trainer's room. Arn Anderson rolls up and he's angry. And he's like, what the hell? What are you going to do about it? Stop being a punk ass bitch. And then that's when Wardlow says, oh, you know what I'm going to do? Ladder match, double or nothing.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get myself killed. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm going to give them what they want, a title shot. because bad behavior is rewarded, CM Punk. Nah, allegedly. And then we go to commercial break.
Not for Ace
And we
Steel,
come back.
I guess.
Huh?
Not for Ace Steel, I guess. I don't know. As the stories may say, allegedly again.
Side note, it's a side quest. Can we just, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I think it needs to be said again. Can we just talk about the dynamic that two basketball players on camera got into a fist fight who were teammates during a game, and then within a week were playing in a game again together, high-fiving after a win?
Yeah.
And then this scuffle that happened, check notes, in September is still being discussed as if a fucking bomb was dropped in Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Like, it was a fist fight.
I've seen Patrick Mahomes be angry and yell at coaches on the sideline and then win a Super Bowl later that year with those people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it happens.
I saw Travis Kelce in 2019, the year we won Super Bowl 54, shove our offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, and then hug him later that game.
I played pickup basketball religiously every night of the week for several years running in the military, right? And I remember specifically being on a team with a guy who we got into it. He started yelling at me, and I basically had to threaten him. I was like, I will choke you out here in the middle of a goddamn basketball court. You keep talking to me this way, right? But there we are later, 10, 15 seconds later, playing basketball together like teammates. Yeah, we can get over this idea that, like, it's impossible for these folks to get along and work together because they had an argument about some stuff because they don't like each other.
And it was a fist fight. No one got shot. No one got stabbed. Someone got bit, allegedly, which, get over it. And yeah, every close friend I've ever had since high school, outside of you, I've punched in the face and have punched me in the face.
Oh, and it's coming at some point.
Well, yeah, but like it would have happened if we didn't do all these fucking Zoom calls. But
yeah, if we were still in the same studio for this long, it would have happened already.
But I just get the fuck over it.
What would have been the moment? Now I gotta know. I gotta go back and listen to find out. Like, this would have been the moment he would have punched me across the desk.
There was a lot of dark moments, so who knows? I mean, on my side, I'm just saying, like me, I was in the
it would probably would have been one of the PS moments.
God, I forgot about that until you said that. Oh, you motherfucker. Yeah, so can we just get over it? Can you guys stop? This is an industry where you all fucking tell me that this is a real sport. You know what we do to our bodies. You know the sacrifice. You know the mentality. And it's like you can't get over a fucking fist fight. Allegedly, it was a fist fight. I don't even know if it was a real fist fight. It's just, I don't get.
Yeah, to me, here's where the difference lies. And I mean, we said something about, Ace Steel, and I don't mean to necessarily say, I mean, like, they've all have fault to some extent in this scenario that broke down, right? Somewhere along the lines, right? Like, as with the complexities of real life, everybody did something wrong and everybody did something right, you know what I mean? And it led to this weirdness. When it was this, from what we do seem to understand, is that, like, everybody was a willing participant in this fight, right? Like, they all were like, fuck you. And then they were like, well, fuck you back. And be like, well, if you want to say something, come find me. And they're like, okay, we will come find you. And then they found him, and then they found out, right? They all just kind of tussled and it got broke up. That seems pretty normal, and I feel like that's something that can be worked through. It's not like you have one employee who every time has a problem, goes and finds the person they have a problem with and elbows them and abuses them. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what's happening here. It's two guys talk shit. And, two groups talked shit that wound up in a brawl. It matters, like, from an employee perspective, if you're AEW, if you think it's on site still with these folks, then we can't do it. But I got to think, with what we've heard of, like, all the talks that have been happening, that, like, they got the feeling that it's not on site necessarily, but we just probably shouldn't have them on site together all that often, right? Like, because they've still got things to finish with it, right? But it sounds like it's being worked through.
But also, just shut the fuck
up.
Fuck.
You're right.
Get over it. Like, at some point, You just seem like the needy ex-girlfriend from all accounts, where you're still holding on to feelings that you just need to move on.
Hear about this, yeah. With both sides, even all I hear is like, okay, so it's not like he slept with my wife, right? Like it's none of these things, right? It's all like, well, he said he shouldn't have to shake my hand in the locker room. Like, get the fuck over yourselves, all of them, the whole lot of them on all sides. Yeah.
Oh, he spread rumors about me. Okay. Fucking, that's a
You're
workplace.
You're famous, you dumb fuck. I think that's what happens to you.
Well, and it's also a workplace. You know how many fucking rumors are spread about everyone at their workplace? There's probably 10 about me. There's probably 30 about Tim. Like, it's everywhere.
I saw people you worked with at your wedding. I heard rumors that I know weren't true.
It probably were. Who knows? But like,
I heard something I knew were true also.
Yeah, probably. But like, I just don't. And also, you fucking nerds. 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 You nerds. You fucking nerds. Can you stop talking about
CM Punk? Nerds?
Yeah, can you just stop talking about him? There's no news. There's no fucking news about any fucking thing about this guy. And also, it's not Jesus. He's not going to come back and change lives. It's CM Punk. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, we'll get a couple decent promos out of the guy, right?
I don't even care about that. I don't care about.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like that's if we're at least taking a realistic gauge on what might happen, guys. I again am challenging this narrative that like he's like the long lost would have been Hulk Hogan of a generation or something. Like he'll come in, he'll give us some solid A promos, and that'll be fine. We don't have to treat it like it's this major thing. Yeah, I've never understood this aura around CM Punk.
Oh, I get it. I know why. It's because this fucking IWC cares more about backstage than in the ring. They don't care about the storylines. They just say, oh, Christian, just turn on Luchasaurus so we can get on to the next thing so that I can predict the next match outcome because I'm so fucking cool. But did you know Christian Cage's middle name is actually Alexander? Ooh, and he kissed a girl backstage that wasn't his wife. Ooh, shut the fuck up. I just want to. This is why we quit this fucking thing one time. It's because I'm tired of you fucking idiots talking about CM Punk and Warner Brothers had a meeting. Shut the fuck up. Were you in it? Were you fucking in it?
Solid member of the Table Nation and new fan of ours. Talked about not catching the first 9 years of this podcast.
Yeah,
you're catching
right
a glimpse of it right now. And Tom did have to quit for a while.
I couldn't because I just shut the fuck up. No one.
Yeah.
It's a television show.
Yeah.
They're all going by fake fucking names for the most part. John Cena, I know, is fucking John Cena, but you get what I'm saying. Luchasaurus isn't his real name, right? Wardlow isn't his real name. So like, shut the fuck up about these people and their real lives. Why are you so, we'll say about, CM Punk made one good point about that whole rant thing that everyone kept talking about. He did talk about in a video he made about the parasocial relationship fans have with these wrestlers and how it's unhealthy and toxic. That's my whole fucking beef with all of this wrestling bullshit.
Yeah.
I just fucking can't take it.
Hear me out. Look, we've discussed CM Punk a lot on this podcast and how I personally get the feel that, yes, it's character, but we get the feel that, like, he doesn't really have a character. He just goes out and plays himself. And I get the feel that I don't particularly like that guy, right? Which is fine. He probably doesn't like me. So, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't give a shit. So why would I give a shit? So that's how I've always treated it. But he's not always wrong about everything he's ever said. And that's why I think a lot of people like him. Because some of the things he said at certain points in his career were something that was on the minds and you kind of captured the voice of a lot of folks at a moment. But I feel like he's been living off of that for a long time because he hasn't done that in a long time. He doesn't have his finger on the pulse of today's wrestling to like speak to management and tell them what they're doing wrong and how they should be like listening to the fans in a way that they aren't, especially not in AEW. So I guess just to me, what made him the icon that he was isn't what he is now. And I don't get why we're still treating him like he is, because that's where I get where like everybody has this excitement where it's like I said, like this would be long lost star of the show, but he just didn't play well with management. But all of that's been a facade, right? Like all of that's gone.
Yeah. But my point is, I don't give a fuck if I don't give a shit if he jerks off Tony Khan every Wednesday night. Don't care. I don't care if he fucking punches Tony Khan in the face every Wednesday night. I don't.
Or does both.
Yeah, I do not give a fuck about anything I don't see on screen. Don't give a fuck. And that you do, not you, Tim, you, is fucking weird to me. It's so fucking weird. Yeah. Now, there are interesting stories, i.e., did you hear fill in the blank wrestler saved a kid from drowning in a pool?
The news, right? Like we do the
that's
news. Right?
Like, that's news.
Right.
But this whole idea that, hey, and again, I'm reckless speculation here, but Anna Jay and Jungle Boy have broken up, and Anna Jay is now interested in Ty Mello in a weird change of events. I don't fucking care. I do not fucking care.
If you somehow feel connected to these people that you admire because you have this knowledge, that's false feeling for you. I need you to understand. If you're listening to this podcast and you're like, I love wrestling so much, now I know these things like Tom just said. Well, Anna Jay has been seen hanging out with other guys and is not, right? You're not in on the club. Right?
Yep.
That's not what, like, you're not in on the group because you found that out online, right? Like that's not a thing, right? Like you're not part of the group. You in fact are putting yourself in less admirable light to the folks that you admire so much.
Oh, and it's just also, to speak to that real quick, and we'll get back into our Dynamite thing. I'm coming back down.
We're going on a long tangent on this one, but I know there's a lot of pent up frustrations here.
It's just so fucking
This
stupid.
is therapy, if we're being honest, for us.
I just want to fucking, I just want to.
Tell me, Thomas, what is it you want to do?
I just want to fucking choke them until they see that their life is about to come out of their fucking brain, and then let them go and like straighten the fuck up.
Metaphorically.
General you.
Use that in your next counseling session. Metaphorically, of course.
Metaphorically, obviously.
In case there's any mandated reporting that needs to be said.
Yeah. Well, but there's no one particular. There's no person I'm thinking of when I say this. It's just right.
The collective IWC, it sounds like.
Yes. That is 1,000,000% the thing. But the other thing that I just hate about this culture that just drives me up a fucking wall is the predictive I told you so shit.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares? Now, if you said, hey, I saw a detail 5 weeks ago, and I think that this is going to happen, and then it does, you'd be like, dude,
we do that here, cool? You know what I mean? And we'll do that with fans. Like, that is normal, right? Especially, like, you'll do that in regular sports. Oh, I bet on the next play they run they run the ball up the A gap, right? And they do it, and you're like, see? And that's cool. And you go, oh, smart, right? You get that. Like,
but then if it doesn't happen... It's fine, right?
I also don't care if you predicted that 14 out of 27 times, and that's better than, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
Yeah, and even more so is that, like, if you read the report of CM Punk's coming back to Collision at Chicago, and then it happens, like, see, I told you. Like, who cares?
Well, it also, it wasn't because, like, CM Punk called you up and was like, hey, pal.
Yeah. What should I do? Should I go back to Chicago? And
you read a report of somebody else who broke that news already.
And also, who cares? We're all going to get to that point. The speculation of Collision and where the first show is and who's going to be on it, guess what, to everyone? It's going to happen. We're all going to get to that same fucking point at the same time.
I had to, in making these news posts for the last couple of weeks, try really hard to make sure that, like, I was removing the CM Punk talk out of it, because all of it has always been
speculation.
Word is, it's supposed to be. They say. I was just like, well, until they announce it,
and
I'm not saying it. And nobody's announced it. And in fact, the only announcement that mentioned his name has said no.
But even then.
And then that was it. Yeah.
But even then, who cares?
Right.
Hey, Dynamite was fun. Sammy Guevara beat Exodus Prime. Did you know that? It happened. And then Sammy Guevara cut a promo.
Yeah, he did that.
Did he? Here's the thing. Here's the weirdest spot that I think anyone is in AEW. Sorry for the rant. I just get worked up when I just see stupidity.
My fucking podcast, damn it.
Well, I shouldn't say the stuff, but it just drives me up a wall. And I'm fine. Everything's fine. This is sports hate. I don't even care about it. My life's great, except for a tumor.
I'll tell you something I don't fucking care about.
Yeah, I can tell you some real shit that will like make me fucking cry, but I won't get there. But Sammy Guevara, he's in the weirdest spot in AEW because he's in the JAS. He wears the fucking jacket. He makes out with Ty Mello up on the top of the stage. But then he does this thing that he did last night where he says, I remember being in Texas. I remember coming up on these streets and making the towns and getting paid hot dogs. Yeah. And boy, I tell you what,
am I supposed to like this guy here?
Well, and okay, yeah, like, but the story isn't unique, right? Like, you didn't overcome Chris Jericho denying you a title shot, and then you got past that to get to this point. You just said, I worked hard when I was a kid. Okay,
and hear me out. Like, I get it. There are a lot of places in America that are rough to grow up in, but like, it's Texas. You know what I mean? Like, there's some rough spots in there. I'm going to give you that, but like, again, like you said, it's not unique. I can introduce you to probably 100 million people in America that've got a similar story to that.
Well, yeah, especially in the wrestling industry. Oh, you got a handshake and a hot dog for the first 8 months of your career.
Yeah,
go listen to all of go listen to all of our wrestling interviews and how they started from Jeremy Wyatt to fucking Mick Foley, and they're going to all tell you the similar story. Yeah.
Hey,
every single one.
But like,
yeah, Big E came from a college football, but yes, that was an exception.
Right. Some of the newer guys today have a little bit of a different path, but traditionally,
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he cuts his promo and he's like, I'm going to be a champion. Neat. Then, Tim, when you brought up AEW, or excuse me, when you brought up TNA in 2010, I thought you were going to bring up this name as just to fuck with me a little bit. But in our next segment, we get Team TNA, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh. They're making their way. Psych, Satnam Singh gets pushed off the fucking ramp, which I thought was great, by FTR. See that motherfucker over there. He's gone. And then we get fights, right? Fights. And then FTR has Jeff Jarrett cornered in the ring, and they're going to give him, I forget what their finisher is called. The knees to the face.
Wrestle Slam.
The Wrestle Slam. Yeah, I got to give him the Wrestle Slam. And out of the crowd comes Karen Jarrett. What?
This Jeff Jarrett thing is getting worse. It's so, first of all, a couple things come to mind. Karen Jarrett was out in front and well ahead of her time of this Karen thing. Right?
She is Karen.
She is Karen. But two, man, we've talked about how much we just, like, the Jeff Jarrett thing has got to go. Like, we don't want this around anymore. We don't know why it's here. Nobody wants this. Nobody really likes this. And then here comes the better
part of
half.
It, you know.
Well, side note,
behind the scenes,
is it weird that my better half calls me her lesser third? Is that a problem? Should I look into that?
Nah.
Yeah, all right. But yes,
ask her if she wants cake. Ask her if she wants cake.
Yeah, she'll probably like cake, yeah.
Yeah. Karen Jarrett comes out. And so here's the thing. First thought, I swear to God, this was my first thought. I said, at the pay-per-view, Kurt Angle's going to angle slam FTR bald, and that's how they become champs. I was like, Kurt Angle's going to be in AEW in like 3 weeks. Because like, that's how it infects it, right? It starts with a little thing, and then another thing. And then we get fucking Abyss coming from the backstage in WWE out into the AEW crowd, and in a match with Mr. Anderson in 2024. Like, this is where it's going to go, and I don't want any of it. The other thing and this is where it has to lead to. Being serious, this is where it has to lead to. And I said this on our Twitter @Table Show. If you'd like to follow us while we live tweet during the show, if Max Caster doesn't drag Karen Jarrett in a rap, then what the fuck was any of this for? That is the ultimate boss, is the Max Caster rap for Karen Jarrett, and then let's get her off TV.
And another thing that AEW did not do, again, if I didn't come up watching TNA,
who is she?
Who the fuck is that? To act like I guess I would gather from the last name that it's a wife, but why that was so shocking, because like I have no context of who she is, what she is to the thing. Now, they can't always stop everything they're doing and give a historical speech on everybody. I get it, but like on a debut, something.
Well, I would understand. Now you can do 2 and 2 plus 4 where it's Karen Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett. Okay, so then that's his wife. Right. Like that's his wife. You could do that and be like, wow, well, that's a mean bitch, right? She loves her man, and not know anything
red
about
pants,
how,
ready to fucking kick some ass.
Not know anything about how stupid her character is. So yeah, Karen Jarrett. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, and I'm going to backtrack to then go forward. I forgot to mention, after a commercial break, Renee Paquette is backstage interviewing Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
And she says, hey, 20 fucking people asked for a title shot against you at Double or Nothing. And he goes, okay, cool.
Yeah,
then it'll
20
be
fucks it is.
20 people, 21. Hey, we're in Vegas. Let's call it the Blackjack Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you want in it? And she's like,
yeah.
All right.
Like that. I mean, unless you want in it, right?
Yeah. Anyone can get it. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the Blackjack Battle Royal without any other explanation?
Well, haven't they done, is this another one of those where it's like first group comes in? What do they call those?
Yeah, a Battle Royal. Mm-hmm.
Right, where those are the casino battle royals. So maybe this is something different. But that's usually the format. It's groups of 5, and then there's the Joker,
which I would think would be the champion.
Right. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not a Joker. Yeah. It's just I don't know. But at any rate, again, we'll have picks to come. But I don't see that being where he loses the title.
Now I will say
unless there's a surprise entrant,
or if you're just saying, hey, we want him to go off in a feud without the belt. It's an easy way
but not look like he sucks. Right.
Someone throw him over with being eliminated. And
somebody came and pulled him over the top. Now he's got to fight that person because whatever.
Yeah. And then Bandito is your international champion. Something like that. I could see something like that happening. Yep. Yeah. Could be.
Yeah, it's going to be Bandito. Which is Spanish for Bandit?
For Luchasaurus.
Oh, interesting.
Crazy enough, right?
Good, yeah.
It's crazy the chance Luchasaurus gets in Mexico.
Yeah, is that true? You'll just have to go to Google Translate and figure it out.
Figure it out yourselves. We don't help you. All right, then where am I here?
It probably definitely was Iron Sheik, wasn't it? I'm feeling pissed that like the site that I use isn't factually accurate, and I'm gonna have to find.
I could be wrong. Look, I could be wrong. I irrationally got mad at no one.
But I feel like it's Sheik.
10 minutes
ago. I feel like that's where I'm like, why didn't I catch that? Because I feel like that's the story I played in my head. As soon as you said it, I was like, wait a minute, fuck. Right? Well, maybe I shouldn't wait till the last minute to put these together.
Yeah, preparation. Who cares? Who prepares for anything? Just happen.
By the way,
life as it happens.
It's a free podcast, and that's why I don't have a whole lot of time. So you should donate, and maybe I'll have more time to.
There it is. There it is. All right. So we go backstage after Karen Jarrett, and Renee Paquette is interviewing Darby Allin.
It can't get any worse, right? We don't know other Jarretts, right?
No, the only one. The only other
Jarrett's
one
coming up training in the wrestling industry.
No, the only other one I know is Jerry, and he just died. So
certainly they do, right? It's like one of their daughters going to be on fucking Rampage coming up in a couple months or something.
Hope not. Renee Paquette, she interviews Darby Allin, and before they can really even get into it. Sammy Guevara rolls up and is like, hey, man, I respect you. Okay. I respect you. And one thing we got to make sure MJF ain't leaving champion. Which, Tim, I don't know where you landed with this promo, but it told me Sammy Guevara works for MJF.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Why would he be trying to tell him that now when we didn't get a build up to that?
Well, we got the whole, hey, Sammy's going to lay down for MJF. Well, now it's a 4-way. So,
but we didn't get the now I'm not actually gonna until this moment. Correct. Right.
Right.
Like, we didn't get this spot where like, he's like, maybe I won't do this for you. And MJF's like, you fucking better. Right. We didn't get any of that. Right.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
No, I haven't seen it. And to the best of my ability, knowing the story, I'm pretty certain Sammy hasn't got paid that exorbitant amount of money he wrote down on that check.
So, I mean, it fits where he may have come to the conclusion that, like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try to win this thing. But then, like, I've never got the feel from any of these folks. Well, scratch that. With Darby and with Jungle Boy, they've both kind of said, look, you're the worst, MJF, right? But, like, I didn't get the feel that, like, they're just as happy if one of the others win and it's just not MJF, right? Like, if MJF has it, is the same as if Sammy Guevara has it in
to them.
Darby Allin's eyes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the thing is I think they all three said, hey, the cancer in AEW is MJF. But that doesn't mean that Jungle Boy is going to be much better. It's going to be me, not the other person. So, yeah, that whole idea that at all costs, we got to make sure MJF doesn't win the championship or retain the championship seems a little fishy. That's why I was like, Sammy, you up to something?
Mm-hmm.
You up to something? Speaking of up to something, we get former enemies, now best friends. In our next matchup, we have the Outcast, Ruby Soho, and Tony Storm taking on Hikaru Shida and Dr. Britt Baker.
Well, this was supposed to be a triple threat,
with
6-woman tag, but apparently Jamie Hayter's injured. Or
but
that's what they're telling us, she's injured. Yeah.
Now, she could be needing rest from being banged up and not actually injured, right?
Correct.
Hey,
or there could be any number of things where I caution, but to me it was news. I put it in the news because Tony Khan announced on Twitter injury, right?
Right.
If it turns out it's a storyline because she needed a break to go home for something, is what it is. But the news was Tony Khan said she's fucking injured to me,
But that's what I'm saying. It could be, hey, I rolled my ankle. Can you give me this week off? Yes, you are injured. Hey, but Tony, I'll be good by double or nothing. Right. Okay, cool.
But it sounds cooler to say the Outcast injured her in a beatdown than she stepped out of the car wrong and landed on a piece of trash and fucking, rolled her ankle. Or a legit in-ring thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my shoulder fucking hurts. I don't want to move it this week. Okay, that's fine. It's not really needed.
I went to move Luchasaurus's shoulder pad out of the way and I fucking cut my finger.
Yeah. As soon as I grabbed it, he said, Bandito! And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? So, the Luchasaurus? So we get former enemies here, Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida working together. Credit to them for at least acknowledging, hey, are we fucking good here before we fight these other women? Because in WWE wrestling trope, it's we fought each other 8 months ago, but now we need to fight them. Okay, cool.
We're best friends.
Yeah, let's go get them. And in this, at least it was, hey, I'm going to make sure that you're cool with me. Yeah, I'm cool with you. Okay, then now let's go. So I like that little detail of they just didn't completely ignore their history. Yeah. They were aware of it, and we're like, let's just make sure that we beat up these
It makes more sense when it's like, hey, listen, we're not cool, but like I get that, like, I'm not your target right now, right? Like, so let's go beat this down.
Right, and this force might be bigger than me by myself, so I might need your help. Yeah, right. And this match was good. Again, it wasn't before the main event, so I always credit them for doing that. The Outcast win, though, by pinfall. The Tony Storm hit her finisher, or what is it called? I wrote it down here. Storm Zero on Britt Baker, DMD, and picked up the victory. And then later on in the night, Tony Storm gets a shot at Jamie Hayter at Double or Nothing. So what do you think about that matchup? Now it's roles reversed going into a pay-per-view.
I think the match will be fine, right? This storyline, I felt like we had higher hopes, and I don't want to hate on it because I want to remind myself, like, well, that's my fault, right? Like, I think we thought this was going to be something bigger than it's turned out to be, but it's been fine, and that match will be good. And I mean, I keep trying to remind myself, I mean, that's the world champion involved in this, but it feels, I don't know, it feels like all of this has just kind of been, a B+.
Well, I will say this. Credit to AEW for, they haven't said in the most important feud in women's AEW history, the Outcasts are looking to take over the women's division. They haven't said anything like that. So for us, like you said, we kind of said, oh my God, blood and guts. You got these 5 women and these 5 women. Well, it's not actually that. Okay, cool. Well, but then it's going to be these 3 well, it's not going to be that either. Okay, well, then it's going to be a triple.
Britt Baker's going to be the Hulk Hogan. Like, it's not that either.
Well, we still got a pay-per-view pick.
Okay, all right.
Still got a pay-per-view pick. Okay.
The moment they mention a surprise buddy,
it's
time to ring the bell.
Oh, boy. Hey, guess what?
One of them calls themselves the medium-sized woman. It's time to...
Yep.
Oh, you love that when Scott Hall referred to himself as the medium-sized man. He's like 6'6", fucking 300 pounds.
Fucking massive, bigger than linebackers in the NFL. I'm medium-sized.
Medium-sized guy.
Yeah. Hey, but guess what?
Fit through my fucking front door.
But if I'm wrong on this pick, guess what, everyone? It doesn't fucking matter. I don't care.
What if you're right?
As long as it's fun.
Then
neat.
Yeah, right. Then we're pimping this out. We're gonna make videos about it.
Look at this. He's the smartest man in wrestling. Look how big his brain is. The timestamp king. He can tell you the future right fucking now. Blah, blah. Oh my God, that's a character we should do. No, we shouldn't. Let's get back into the action.
Timestamp
Next up, Timestamp T-Mac. He can tell you what's going to happen in fake fighting. Hey, we get a Falls Count Anywhere match next up. Chris Jericho, looking every bit his age, taking on Roderick Strong, looking every bit of his age. And these guys have a old Donnybrook, huh? A little fisticuffs everywhere in the arena, including outside of it.
Yeah, we have a hashtag tweet table about that also from Brian J. Bebe. Says Jericho and Strong in the stairwell ice cream street fight. Hashtag tweet the table. Yeah, we got a little soft serve action in there. I like it. There's some good visuals of them actually going outside and just fighting in this, like a random foyer, if you will.
Yeah, and that one area where they were like on a ledge somehow. I was like, what the fuck? If you guys slip,
bed.
Yeah, like if you guys slip, you're fucked. That was kind of
crazy.
crazy.
The fucking grounds maintenance person was like, what the fuck happened here last night?
Why is there scuff marks up on the roof?
Looks like an ass print right here in the middle of the fucking mulch.
Why is this sticky? Why did I get sick touching this? Yeah. I will say the funniest moment for me in the match was they were fighting next to some vendor workers. I don't know what you call it, a kiosk.
Yeah.
And the women were actual workers and were just astonished.
Nobody fucking smartened them up for this.
No. And they were just so shocked about what they were seeing. It was so hilarious.
Yeah, well, because you know how that works, right? They were probably there as volunteers hoping to get some money for their, school forensics team.
Mm-hmm.
This is how the venue doesn't have to pay actual workers, right? They give them a small amount of what they actually would have had to pay if they paid people an actual wage to work there. So then those people have no clue why they're there. They're not there for the venue. They don't know who's performing tonight. They think it's a fucking Taylor Swift concert or some shit. And here comes Chris Jericho with a chest that looks like the front of a 68 Ford truck, I guess. And Roderick Strong, who's like 5'2", right? And they just start taking ice cream and smashing each other's face. And yeah, they had to be like, what in the fuck is that's the story they're going to tell for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. So here I was working for $12 an hour, and all of a sudden, this old man with hair plugs grabs the fork out of my hand and starts throwing it at a man in his underwear. What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people were cheering it on.
I have no idea. No wonder I'm trying to move.
All this so we can fucking fund the debate team.
Yeah, so we can get killed by the state university team in a volleyball.
We have to pay to park the bus at the next track meet. Fucking love America, right? Like,
yeah, it's the best. It is the best.
So yeah, I mean, hey, look, Street Fight, all this was fine. Again, I'm still not bought in on. I give a shit about Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Now, it was fun, right? Because they were banned from the building. Mm-hmm. So as soon as they got out
Which
of
is, I think I said that last week, right? Hey, I picked this. We need to... Yeah.
Oh, it's timestamp Tim. Oh,
you mean you watch television and you can pick up on patterns? Great. Great. You're like a zoo animal.
Oh, my...
It's like a minimum bar of intelligence. Like, seeing a reoccurring thing happen.
Yeah. No, you're like that goddamn corgi picking basketball games that's just fucking hitting it. The Warriors won again.
Crazy. He's got advanced knowledge.
Yeah. Or he just fucking guessed. I don't know. Who knows? All right. So, yeah, it was cool. He does get outside of the stadium or the building, and then that's when Adam Cole lays him out. Roderick Strong gets the victory, which is good because he needs a victory to debut in AEW. We move on. Next up, Jungle Boy almost dies in a match with Roosh. Did you see the spot I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah, he almost died.
That was incredible. Like, you could have not had a main event if this goes 2 inches the other way. Roosh also...
got Kempered up in here.
Oh, easy. Too soon. Also... It felt like Roosh. Yeah, too soon. Come on. It felt like Roosh was dominating this matchup, which I don't think is necessarily the story you wanted to tell. Yeah. Like Jungle Boy.
Yeah, so that was interesting. I thought because we've never before. It's one thing if you want to tell, like, hey, Jungle Boy can survive the monsters that beat people up, but we haven't really told that with Roosh.
Yeah, no, Roosh is just Roosh. Yeah, he's just a good wrestler.
It's a guy. Yeah.
What did you say Jericho's chest looked like?
The front of a 68 Dodge or something like that. It's really wide, right? Like it's like really, the headlights are really off to the far side, right? Like they are flush to the, to the margins.
Oh my God, that's the best. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so Jungle Boy wins. And then after the match, the faction tries to beat up on Jungle Boy, Darby, Sammy, make the save. Then they all stare at each other like they're, I don't know, long lost brothers, and we move on. Now, here's
one of the funnest
thing.
Parts of this sometimes for me is, when we have a funny moment and you're laughing, right? Well, you move on. The stream is a few seconds behind, and I have the stream up for health, and then I just see the laughter going on later, and I have to pretend not to still be laughing.
That's
all right,
great.
anyway, sorry. Peek behind the curtain.
Peek behind the curtain. There you go, huh? You want to know the backstage workings of Spanish Announce Table? Do Tim and Tom talk on days they're not recording? Ooh.
You donate, maybe we'll give you some of that info.
Oh.
Tell you what color socks I'm wearing tomorrow.
Oh, man. Are their wives friends? Are their wives happy with them doing a podcast on Thursday nights? Well, find out.
Your wife might like that you're doing it.
No. Hey, we're going to make a website and give you a Patreon exclusive the day before, and then someone's going to screenshot it and just put it as a tweet. That'll make us money.
Spoiler alert, my wife doesn't like that I do the podcast on Thursday.
Oh, really?
You know how many times I've had to be like, it's not stupid.
Oh, how many times my wife goes like, get downstairs, like get the fuck out of it. Go.
That's what I was like. I get the feel where your wife's like, please, I
Yeah,
can't
just
read
stop.
with you fucking
Yeah.
talking, yelling
Yeah.
at the TV.
Yeah. Oh God, I went off
It's the
side
baking
quest here.
championship. Stop getting mad about it.
Justice for Jai. That's a real thing. But quick side quest. I went on a rant because I'm just a fucking maniac. Obviously, you saw probably 20 minutes ago. I hate this is a pet peeve of mine, and it's the dumbest thing I get hung up on. But I hate when we call anything gate. So like deflate gate,
Yeah,
or
because of Watergate.
spy gate. Because Watergate, just a quick history lesson for any maybe of our international listeners, because we got millions. It's called Watergate because Watergate was the hotel in which the spying was occurring.
Yeah, there wasn't a type of gate that
There
was
wasn't a
utilized
type
here.
of gate.
Yeah.
Nope. So let's just hypothetically say that took place at my friend Sharkbait's MMA and Jiu-Jitsu school. You wouldn't call it deflate bait.
You're right.
You wouldn't call it spy bait.
Yeah.
So you sound fucking stupid when
Especially-
conspiracies are called gates.
Especially when we are 60 years removed from that thing happening, right? Like, I get it in the 90s when all the boomers were now adults, and that happened when they were coming of age. So it like pinged like, oh, Watergate, deflate, well, like, oh, I get it. But anybody our age and younger doesn't even know what the fuck that reference means now.
Well, and the other thing that makes me the most aggravated with it is it's smart people who say it. It's people that write for publications like the New York Times or the Washington Post. And it's like, you all should be better at this than the fucking dum-dums that live on the country roads of places I don't know the fucking names of. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I get the most aggravated, is with the smart people, not the dumb people. I get it. They're dumb. But you smart people should be better. Fucking get better at that.
Is not aware they're the idiot. So I
Yeah.
can't fault them.
Yeah. Isn't that great? God, don't you wish you were just dumb enough to like still get excited that Fast and Furious movies were coming out? Like, don't you wish like that was the level of dumb you were?
I remember you asked me recently, you were like, you like the Fast and Furious? I was like, no. I was like, God, I hope you're not about to tell me that you do. It's like,
Well,
10 years we've been friends.
Shout out to a listener who I won't name, but he does. And credit to you. We talked about it. There's a big spoiler in this Fast Furious that I read. So, but yeah,
I get falling into a universe, right? And then like being enthralled by it. But no, I never got started. And it's one of those where I'm like, well, I'm definitely not going to, now that there's been like 10 of these fucking things. Like, I'm not going back and watching them all. So definitely have. But I love that line.
Yeah, that's
you just wish that you were just dumb enough to be excited about a new Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, it's a good one.
It's good, yeah.
It's a good one. All right. Hey, so this is where I wanted to pick your brain a little bit too about a storyline that I get it, but also if we're being consistent, get someone in some hot water. So after the whole three pillars look at each other and do the Captain America, our powers combined bullshit, Renee Paquette is backstage and she tries to interview MJF. And before she really could even get a question out, he smacks the mic out of her hand. Now, okay, right? MJF is upset. He doesn't want to talk about this. Storyline, and again, I don't give a fuck about backstage. I'm telling you what I know from what they've told me on screen. She's married to Jon Moxley. Moxley is a psychopath. I know
is he not going to get mad about this? Like,
that's what I'm saying. And I know that MJF has beat Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley for the AEW championship, defending and then obviously defeating one of them. But collectively, Blackpool Combat Club might go peeking around where MJF is staying and might beat his ass for fucking punking out Renee Paquette like this. So that's where it's like, do that to Alex Marvez or someone.
I guess Marvez would have been better. I guess I just also don't understand, like, why is MJF in this mood now? I don't think we got a great explanation on that of, like, why he's, like, so worried.
Well, I just think
the
he's like,
announcement of it being a fatal four-way,
yeah,
I guess.
I think he's nervous because you don't have to lose the championship. Like, you don't have to be pinned to lose the championship. So maybe
he just
that's
went from doing the MJF stick of like, nothing gets me down, like I'm better than you are, to all now like visibly I'm speechless.
Well, they're working together. Yeah, they're working together against me. Like, no. So that happened. And then we come back, and as mentioned, Toni Storm talks about how she's getting a title shot at Double or Nothing. Then we get into our main event match. Not the main event segment, but the main event match, which I thought was interesting. It is Absolute Ricky Starks taking on, I don't know, Rubber Band Gold, Switchblade, Jay White. Someone help me here, guys. What is it? Tell me the match. Tell me the fucking promo or the match where I'm like, that's it.
Yeah,
because I ain't seeing it. I am not. And especially, look, I misspoke last week, I think it was. I said the floor was Carl Anderson. I was wrong. The floor is Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson is fucking trash. Like, the presentation, the look, the promo, the sound, the rest, all of it is bad. Just bad. Now, he might be a good person. I liked him as CJ, whatever the fuck it is, CJ.
Parker.
Sure. That was fun. But this rock hard caveman look, fuck off. Like, nope. And Jay White isn't much better.
Rock Hard Caveman would be better than Rock Hard Juice Robinson. Like, if you came out in a caveman gimmick and you were rock hard, the caveman.
Yeah, and I think it's great. Brian J. said in a tweet where he put a side-by-side of the, remember the caveman commercials?
Yeah, the Geico.
And then Juice Robinson, and it was like the same fucking person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he was Rock Hard was his name and he was a caveman.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he had a rock?
Yeah.
Oh, they had a hard rock?
Yeah.
That's his whole thing. Why you call it Rock Hard? This rock is hard.
Rock Hard. Then I might get a Rock Hard shirt.
Yeah. Rock Hard. Yeah, that's his whole thing. Rock Hard.
Like, what's up with that shirt? Be like, oh, you got to watch wrestling to get it.
Rock Hard. Yeah. Hey, so who do you think's going to win in the main event between the four pillars at Double or Nothing? Rock Hard.
Then you start the music, right? It like does like a drum, like a da-da, and then everybody goes, Rock Hard.
Yeah. Rock Hard. And he walks out with
they get a chant, Rock Hard over and over again. Yeah. Look, see, hire us. Tony Khan.
Rock Hard.
Yeah.
Rock Hard. Yeah, that's man, I might write that shit. Rock Hard. Rock Hard. Rock Hard. Man, yeah. Fuck yeah.
We have any musically inclined fans?
Yeah,
please,
do it.
Get us a remix of that right
hard.
there.
Rock Hard. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. And then Big Bill can be the roadie. Yeah.
Gosh.
Checks the mics. Yeah. He gives a big boot to one of the microphones that isn't needed. And then here it comes
and that's
out.
The end scene. Hard. At the end of the video is him giving the big boot to the mic stand.
Rock Hard.
Rock Hard.
Rock Hard. Yeah, that's the fucking tits. This wasn't. Whatever this was. I mean, what is this? Ricky Starks. I will say this was interesting. I will say this. The match was what it was. But we get a DQ finish where Ricky Starks says, I'm tired of this bullshit, and just hits everyone with the chair. Not the ref, obviously, but he hits Ricky Starks. He hits Juice Robinson with the chair. Where do you think that leads to? Maybe a no DQ match at Double or Nothing?
Yeah. Maybe that, or I'll take you both on. Handicap match.
You know what he should grab if it's a 2-on-1 match? Rock Hard! Rock Hard!
Rock Hard Ricky Starks. He can just take the gimmick.
Rock Hard! Yeah! Screw the absolute.
Rock Hard Ricky Starks.
Hard.
It fits.
Rock
I like it.
Hard.
If I was to try to sell somebody on Rock Hard Juice Robinson or Rock Hard Ricky Starks, Rock Hard Ricky Starks works a lot better.
Yeah. rock hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who should do that is Warhorse. Warhorse should be rock hard. Not Warhorse, but whatever his real name is. That would, because
Or he could just, he could just incorporate the rock hard into like his fucking phrase. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a pet rock. That's what he has to have the pet rock in his hand. That's the
rock.
fucking
rock hard.
That's what puts it over.
Yeah, because then you get to use the rock in the matches, right? I'm picturing ourselves sitting in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Right? You know where I'm talking about. Sitting there, I forget the name of the venue, but the crowd chanted rock hard. The opponent grabs the rock, the thunderous boos.
Warhorse grabs it. Yeah. Warhorse grabs it. Yeah. And then we all just go rock hard.
Rock hard.
Rock hard. Oh,
it's being wasted on this Juice Robinson guy.
Yeah.
This
worst.
Fucking Bo Dallas.
The worst. Yeah. The aborted idea of Bo Dallas. Rock hard Juice Robinson. Don't like it. Anyhow, Ricky Starks takes them both out.
Juice Robinson feels like if somebody tried to badly explain the Bo Dallas gimmick to you.
Juice Robinson seems like who did you mention earlier in 1993 WCW Sid beat in 32 seconds or whatever?
Gosh, that was
who was that?
Who did he beat? Van Hammer.
Van Hammer. Yeah, he seems like the long lost child of Van Hammer.
Yes.
Van Hammer should have done the rock hard. Rock hard.
Van Hammer.
That's fucking cool. Okay, now we get to the real main event, and this again injected into my veins. I'm on one tonight, guys. I tell you what, my hockey team got eliminated from the playoffs. I'm mad. I got time on my hands.
Didn't get shots off enough quickly. I watched 3 games of that series, and they just wouldn't shoot quick enough.
Well, and bad passing, not good.
I think that's it. Like I think they would get scared to take the shot themselves. It seems like, and then they just wouldn't.
First goal,
they wouldn't get it off quick enough.
First goal,
too
the first goal, the defender didn't fucking have good puck management, so the Dallas forward just took it from him. And Grubauer's fucking awesome, but he can't do 100 fucking block shots. So one of them got through.
I've never really watched hockey for that length of time like I did these last couple games. Hockey goes hard.
Hockey's awesome.
You just get a fucking body motherfuckers all game long in hockey.
I tell you what, and play the video games. If you're into video games, play a hockey video game. It's so hard to play anything else. Because like you can do it passive and then you can also do it active and it's still moving to where it stimulates your brain. It's fucking good. The main event segment it was. Tony Schiavone introduces, I tell you what, the scum of the earth. This motherfucker, when he goes to hell, or excuse me, when he dies, he's going to have to look up to see hell. He is scum of the earth.
I love how much Tony Schiavone hated this moment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wanted to be like, look at what you fucking did. Look at it, you punk, you piece of shit.
Yeah, it wasn't like hey, can we tell? He's like, no, look at you, jerk.
You scumbag. I would call you a scumbag if I didn't think it would be such an insult to bags filled with scum. Piece of shit.
So here was the interesting thing is Tony Schiavone says, hey, why? And Don Callis, who can't even get a word in, getting Dominic Mysterio type levels of heat.
They were calling him piece of shit.
Yeah, just everything. And he's like, well, guess what? I'm the reason Kenny Omega is Kenny Omega, and I'm the reason. But then he gets interrupted. And here comes Kenny Omega, and he's mad. But we have security blocking him off. So then he's like, oh, really? You're going to have me beat up all these security guards? Okay. And so as he approaches security guards, well, guess what happens next? Blackpool Combat Club. And they beat up old Kenny Omega. And they jump him. And they're boom, 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 boom. And then old John Moxley hits him with the old paradigm shift. Yeah, pow! Right on your noggin. And then they get in the ring and they're like, see, this is what we do. We run wrestling. We are wrestling. We're wrestling. And then here comes Super Kick Party. And they're walking out with a trash can full of other things. And they're like, guess what? We're going to beat them up. So it's 3-on-4. And everyone says it's 3-on-4. What's going to happen? And then motherfucking eye patch Hangman Adam Page.
And a cool eye patch too, right? This isn't string with a black piece of fabric. This is a leather. It has like rivets. Look at it. It's glorious. It looks like a saddle for his eye.
It's the best eye patch for the best wrestler on the face of God's green earth. And he comes out.
This looks like an eye patch that like a colonial person would wear because they knew like I've been blind since birth. Right? And this was made for me, right? To last for 40 years.
Long story short, this eye patch fucks. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is that kind of an eye patch. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. That's what it does. You know what it would do? It would grab other eye patches and go, rock hard,
rock hard,
rock hard. It's so stupid.
They should run with it. They would 100%. 3-man band should have been doing this.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a fucking Luchasaurus, of course there should be a guy named Rock Hard with a rock that's hard. Anyhow, so here it comes.
Well, then you can get Soft Rock to take them on, right?
Soft Pebble. Oh, Soft Pebble could be like a Yanni type of act.
Right.
You know,
that's
like
what I mean. That's where you get Soft Rock, right? Like, it's just easy listening.
Yeah, it's so smooth.
Like REO Speedwagon, right? It's just fucking...
like a who's the fucking hey, I'm going up, hey, Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
like you could have like a Bob Dylan kind of feel, you know. Hey, everyone, here we are in a new town.
Right. Then we get Rock Hard versus Soft Rock.
Or they're a tandem. They're the yin and the yang. The opening act and the closer. Oh, that's how they wrestle. Soft Rock comes out, but gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And the hot tag comes to Rock Hard and gets the clotheslines and oh my God, I've already booked the matches.
Feels like Memphis 1972 right here.
And the Soft Rock has to have a receding hairline. Fuck that if you got a full head of hair. It's got to be the fucking
1968 Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, hell yeah. He drives a fucking Volkswagen Beetle. Soft Rock does. He's like, hey guys, how's everyone go? And then you get a
Rock
fucking,
Hard.
Yeah, has a 1984 Camaro.
You got
what
IROC
up, everyone?
Like T-top.
It just does fucking donuts and
dual exhaust.
Yeah, he does donuts during a funeral. Rock Hard.
But it is as to tribute the dearly departed, right? Yeah.
Motherfucking Steve.
I feel like we are just describing Warhorse. I feel like maybe we should just write for Warhorse. Warhorse, get at us. We got ideas.
Steve forever, motherfucker.
Yes. A Steve Miller Band tattoo on his neck like Cody Rhodes.
Oh my God. He has every fucking Allman Brother tattooed on the back of his spine.
Yeah. Love it. Stairway to Heaven. Like where the kids get the like word on the back on their neck, he gets the Stairway to Heaven right there.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Woo. Okay, but then here we go.
Mm-hmm. Hangman's out.
Adam
Eye patch.
And he looks over, and and then Kenny Omega has two weapons. He has a trash can lid and a broom with barbed wire on it.
This is the cleaner.
And he goes, here you go. Because that was the whole thing, was would Kenny Omega and Hangman be able to coexist? And now here we go. So they come out, boom, bada, boom, bada, bow, bow, boom, and then
exactly how it went down.
Blackpool Combat Club, powder out. They go away. And here comes Hangman, and he says, guess what, motherfuckers? We're going to fight you in Anarchy in the Arena. And the Elite are back.
Yep.
And then the crowd, crazy.
Nuts. Crowd was great all night.
You know what? Swear to God, I think I heard Rock Hard. No, I'm kidding. That's too much. But then Fuck yeah, man. So, Anarchy in the Arena, Blackpool Combat Club, second time in this for them, taking on the Elite. Now, if we go back to the first Anarchy in the Arena match, this was when Eddie Kingston fucking was on God level, coming out with blood in his face and a gas can. And that's also when the match started and they did the New Jack tribute where Moxley's music kept playing and they kept fighting. What do you think is going to happen in this fucking thing?
I mean, I think it's going to be similar to that, right? I think, we had the Stadium Stampede, and I think we measured Anarchy in the Arena against that because there's similar gimmicks here.
Yep.
Except Stadium Stampede, I think, stood alone so much by itself that, and its presentation was different that, it kind of can't be matched. So Anarchy in the Arena makes more sense to move forward. So I think we're going to get that, right? We're going to get this brutal thing where they're fighting everywhere. We're not going to get... now he's dead. We're not going to get Matt Hardy, giving the thumbs up and drowning in 4 different versions of himself. Right?
The best.
As much as I miss that, right? We're not going to get that with here. This has to be the gimmicks are aside. The Young Bucks aren't showing up in their frilly, stupid outfits. We're here for a fight.
Well, yeah, because honestly, if we're being completely, real with ourselves, Stadium and the Stampede is a fantastic pre-taped match. If you can do 100% no fans can see this kind of bullshit, Stadium Stampede is your fucking thing. But if you're saying, hey, we got to give them something like that to a live audience,
right?
Then it's this.
Then it's Anarchy.
And the only thing that I worry about is, Blackpool Combat Club were so physical in that first match, right? We had, I believe this was also when it was how Jericho was choking Bryan Danielson with the rope. They took the top rope off, choking him with that, and then Hager had the ankle locked, and that's how the match ended, is Danielson passed out.
Right.
So I just don't know how we can go okay, and then what can go after that? This that was pretty fucking extreme.
Come up with that is the sick fucking twisted minds of Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. So maybe we're gonna get something, that's true. Right? These guys find a way to be like, Jesus Christ, guys, tone it down in 2023. Yeah. So I'm gonna wait and see. I think we'll get brutal. I know that. Just will it stick out from the other one or anything else of this nature? That remains to be seen.
The one thing that I hope to see in a quick order, because I know we only got 2 weeks, but if you look at all 8 competitors, the weakest as far as stature is Yuta. And this is where Yuta might need to go on some solo missions and take out a Matt Jackson or take out a Kenny Omega's knee or something.
He needs to make us wonder where that broomstick went.
Yes. He needs to have another fucking shirt where he's covered in blood, right? After this needs to be another one of his, what the fuck?
He maybe grabs one of the Young Bucks, drags them into a closet. He comes out with a bunch of blood on him, and we don't see that Young Buck for a month, right? Something where we're just like, the fuck did Wheeler do?
Yeah. And you could have the Elite still win, but Matt Jackson's gone.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's like, we don't talk about that, right? They just don't even want to They go ghost white when anybody brings up the name, right? And then when Wheeler comes around, everybody's a little weird. Even the Blackpool Combat Club's kind of fucking giving him the side eye, you fucking watch him while I go to the bed. You know what I mean? Keep an eye on him.
Yeah. So that is our AEW Dynamite episode with a couple side quests and side missions that we got off a little bit.
Wheeler into the Pillman of this group, where he starts doing that, where they're kind of shit, maybe we shouldn't have brought this kid in, right? He's fucking
We've
nuts.
taught him too much. Yeah, we taught him too much.
Not like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Frankenstein's monster kind of an idea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. We got to rein him in, and he's like,
Tony,
you ain't reining shit in, motherfuckers.
Solid gold ideas on this episode. Solid. Rock hard. Oh, we know the episode title for this week. So, as a reminder, hit up all of the things. The SpanishAnnounceTable.net. We're on all the social medias, the YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Find us there. Donate some money to us. Buy our shirt. Do all of those things. And until next week, please.
Happy birthday, Tim.
Yeah, happy birthday to me. And please be our wrestling friend.
The Spanish announce table.